you been back out to Georgetown yet?
Yes. That's about all I need to know. And cut. Yeah, I've been out there. Welcome to the Camo and Hooks podcast. This is Mike.
And this is Luke.
Come up on that mic a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing you at all, actually. You know why? And there it is.
Sounds like I can only hear you through my microphone.
That's strange. Yeah.
You can't hear me at all.
Move that mic close to you, see if that... There he goes, finally kicked online there. Ooh.
Hey.
That's hot.
That's hot,
real
Mike.
hot.
Ooh. Somebody check the woofers.
Do they still have tweeters? I remember woofers and tweeters was a thing in the 80s.
I think it's all digital now, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just a giant magnet connected to a computer.
I've got this little JBL Bluetooth speaker that's as big as like a Nalgene bottle, and it thumps harder than the 16-inch bass tube I had in my pickup when I was in high school.
100% more. Like we had, our family had the stereo deck with like the giant speakers that are 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
And like seriously, I have like a 3-inch speaker in my garage now that sounds way better than that.
Way better.
Yeah, like it could blow my ears out just as easily as that one did. Mm-hmm. Continue my path of hearing damage.
Well on your way.
Yeah, well, that's why we wear these headphones. Cans. Industry speak. Welcome to the Camo and Hooks podcast. This is Mike.
And this is Luke.
And today we're going to see how hunting season's going. I'm going to give you a sneak preview. Slow going. It is just now becoming what you would call a fall season in Central Texas. What are we
about
in?
2 weeks late.
Yeah, we're in the second week of October right now, and we just got temperatures below 90 basically. That's
right.
For the first couple times. So
right.
Slow going. I tell you what, it hurts. Two things. It makes animals real hard to pattern.
Yeah.
It makes any animal, primarily we're hunting dove and whitetail. It makes any animal hard to pattern. But it also just destroys your motivation to get out there and hump it through the woods and get out there and sit in the heat.
When it's still hot.
Especially for an evening hunt.
Your ground blind turns into a hot box.
Oh, God. It was rough, man.
And if you don't have a thermocell, it turns into a hot bug box.
So you found that out.
I did. I was like, I'll just use spray the first time, and I got unscented spray and everything, and I just sat in that blind opening morning and just got eaten up. So I got out of the blind, walked back to the house, got in my truck, drove to Walmart, and got a thermocell. And then I sat in the blind in the evening, and nothing. It was awesome. No bugs.
I am unfamiliar with the workings of a thermocell. What exactly is that doing to keep mosquitoes away?
So it's this contraption that you plug a butane charger into it.
Okay.
And it doesn't give off heat. I mean, I guess it gives off some heat. It gives off enough heat to heat up this little patch that has some kind of bug repellent on it.
Okay.
But you can't feel the heat. It's not like a heater, right?
Yeah.
And there's no aroma at all. You can't smell it. But whatever it gives off, probably cancer causing.
Sure. Yeah.
I was sitting there in the blind, not looking at any deer, thinking about the ramifications of this thermocell thing, but I was also not being eaten by mosquitoes, so.
Right, so it's a balancing act.
Sure. Sure. No mosquitoes now.
Right, West Nile or lung cancer?
But maybe cancer later.
Yeah, that's better than West Nile and mild discomfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes are itchy.
Owie. Mosquitoes have never been, I don't know, it used to be like a badge of honor thing where I was like, yeah, mosquitoes don't really bite me that much. They really don't. Like, for some reason, they don't bother me. But now, as I've gotten older, I'm insulted by mosquitoes now. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, what's bad? Like, I'm healthy. I got a lot of blood. I got good veins. Like, what do you want? What is it that's so much more appealing about that person over there?
You're not sweet enough, Mike.
Oh, God, you're right. I'm not. I try to be. To like 2 people on the planet. Is that enough?
But there's 4 people in your immediate family.
You see my conundrum. You can see how difficult it is. I look at Leah, my 2-year-old, when she goes outside, and like, you know, with Sam, like you look at like their skin. It's so like creamy white and just like broadcasting to the world, like come eat me alive is what it's. And like mosquitoes just land on it. You can see it. It's like that's like a big delicious scoop of sweet cream ice cream for them. They're like, oh, this is. Have you tried the toddler?
Yeah, and their skin is so fair too that one mosquito bite.
Oh God!
Looks like they got bitten by a brown recluse.
Looks like
or
a
something.
gunshot wound.
Yeah,
like Leah got bitten right on the cheek. I was like, I don't beat her. I promise. Like I promise. Like it's just the mosquitoes that got her. So I didn't have I've done a couple of sits out at Lake Georgetown now. Impossible to pattern these deer, and
it's too warm and it's too green. All the rain we've gotten right here. I mean, it was a super dry summer, and then we talked about dove season opens. Here comes the rain, and it basically rained all September, every weekend too, which was nice.
And there's acorns all over the ground.
Acorns all over the ground. There's fresh grass sprouting everywhere. It's warm, so the deer don't want to get up and move, and they don't have to.
Right.
That's what you really need. Like for Central Texas hunting, where we're hunting feeders, we need it to be cold and dry with no green.
Yeah.
So the deer are hungry enough that they will get out of their comfort zone to go find food.
Right. And I feel like the ones that I've seen on the trail cam, I feel like they are hitting that spot because they just happen to be going that way. Like they're literally feeding on their way up. They're eating grass.
Do you recognize the deer?
One or two, but
But for the most part, it's just kind of random.
Yeah,
just nude passersby.
Yeah, I'll get a couple of young bucks, a couple on a year and a half year old does, one. But there's one consistent one that I've got my eye on because, like I've said, I have to take a doe out there first. She's easily a 2.5-year-old. And she's without a fawn this year. I think she rolls in a group with the 1.5-year-old. That might be her fawn and they've got another fawn now.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that I see pretty regularly. But other than that, it's just kind of like a traffic stop. And they're like, oh yeah, there's corn here too if you're interested. Like, yeah. I had and just to your point, I had a small corn spill like on the edge of my clearing, and it's still not cleared away.
Oh wow!
And that's that's pigs, that's bugs, that's everything. Like so, still we got plenty of options. We don't need your dry ass.
Well, corn. Out there too. Every 100 yards, there's a feeder.
Every 100 yards.
So
by law.
Yeah, out of my mom's place, I meant to have that blind put up earlier before the season started, but some miscommunications and stuff happened, so I didn't end up putting out the blind until the night before.
Oh wow!
It opened. So, I sat out there and I didn't see anything, and I knew it was going to be warm, so I knew it was going to be kind of a crapshoot.
It's like random chance right now.
But then I checked the cams, and deer still came through even after I had set up that brand new blind.
Yeah. They didn't seem bothered too much by mine.
Yeah. And then I've gotten some more pictures over the last 2 weeks, and it's insane. There's a picture that has 8 deer in it.
Yeah.
There's does with fawns, there's young bucks, there's big bucks. I got a couple of fights on camera, which is cool for a couple of the small bucks. King Dingaling is getting bigger.
Yeah, I saw. He's looking thick in the neck, man.
It's insane. Yeah. Somehow his tines are continuing to grow, and it's insane. And what's really cool is that. If you've seen the pictures on Instagram from the trail cam, the ground blind is about 15 yards to the left of that trail cam.
Yeah.
And really only, it's just under 20 yards from the feeder. So all the angles they're coming in at, if they would come out in the day, are perfect.
Right.
But the big guy...
Those are all nocturnal camera shots that you're...
You'll notice there's no daylight deer pictures yet, but in this most recent set of pictures, they're out as late as like 6:05 a.m.
Okay, now you're talking.
And they're walking in as early as 8:05. So that is still, both of those are still just outside the 30 minutes before and after light.
But you're starting to see the beginnings.
But we're getting there, and that was before the temperature drop. Okay. So that's when it was still in the 70s at night. Now the temperature's getting down to the 60s, even the 50s. I wish so bad I could go out this weekend because I think it's going to get in the 40s. And
gonna rain.
it's gonna go back up for
You
next week.
might get rained out though.
Yeah,
I was
that's
looking at
true.
the weather
It's gonna
forecast.
go back up next week though. That's when I'm going. So
Let's talk about the weather on this podcast. Just have an episode every month. Like, hey guys, this is what's going to happen. This is your almanac episode of Campbell Books for Central Texas.
so when you listen to this in a week, it's all gonna be
It's
obsolete.
completely out of date. Like, oh, thanks guys for that.
Well, we're providing insight into how the deer act
We are.
on the weather. So next season,
Next season, we're going to go back and listen to this.
if it's still in the 80s in October,
just stay home.
just stay home and watch football
Just
or
go,
something.
Just go fish.
Go fishing.
Yeah, I'll just start going to fish with you more. So at Lake Georgetown, a similar experience out there. I've had a couple of close encounters, but they haven't been of the walking into my shooting lane kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rain was a real big thing. The first time I went out, I actually went out on the evening of opening day. It rained that day, and
Yeah.
I kind of documented this on my Instagram story too. It's actually saved up there if anybody is, masochistic enough to want to go watch. That's a chair moving upstairs.
Okay.
From the upstairs studio. There's another podcaster up there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not somebody in your house.
No, it's not my wife moving a makeup stool around. I know that's what it sounds like, but
That's not what it is.
it's a bustling podcast studio here. When I went out, it rained a little bit as I was driving out, and then I got there. It's like, no, it let up enough. I'll go. I'll walk in. I'll take the half mile. And so I hiked in, and then I'm probably 30, 40 yards from the stand. I can see it not from the stand, from the blind. And just randomly walking, just as I'm randomly kind of strolling through. I'm moving slow at this point because I'm close to the spot. I'm not in full travel stomp through the woods mode because I don't care.
Yeah.
And I just randomly catch a flank and a white tail about 25 yards away, just off in the woods. Not standing, not spooked, just walking.
Yeah.
Just kind of walking. Didn't detect me. It was sprinkling just enough, I think, to mess with the sound profile of the woods a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just saw it, so I had to, right as it started to drizzle a little bit, I'm 30 yards from the blind. I had to put everything down, take just my bow, and then go into stalk mode. I just went going. I didn't just start going after the deer. I figured I would go towards the blind, try to head her off. Try to meet her at the clearing, because you got to hope that's where she's going.
Sure.
She's going to go, up to the feeder up there. So just kind of stalked up, and in the process of doing that stalk, the sky opened up, just drenched me. And I'm just, super secret squirrel sneaking, trying to get in there, just soaked. And I'm sure she's just taking off. He's like, oh, it's raining. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to go find cover.
But I didn't want to blow it, so I finally got to the stand, soaking wet, got my stuff in, went back out in the rain and got the rest of my stuff, came back in, and got that perfect storm of Texas weather where I got soaking wet, all my stuff is soaking wet, it rained, stopped raining, the sun came out, got up to the 80s, and turned it into a lovely sauna. I probably dropped 6-7 pounds while I was sitting there.
Excellent.
In that. And the other downside of that is I changed my blind position, and I'll tell you why. I moved it this last time I was out, because I thought that I had calculated pretty well to not be lit up by the sun.
Yeah.
When you're setting up the blind, for those not in the know, which is just barely not us, that you have to make sure that you're not, depending on where you're going to sit, you try to have it facing north or south, so you don't have sun blasting in and lighting you up while you're sitting there, and they can see any tiny movement or just see something different while you're getting blasted with light. I noticed that I didn't really calculate for the sun's trajectory very well, because the sun doesn't come up exactly in the east, depending on the time of year. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting a sliver of light in there that was kind of when I have to lean and look in the shooting lane, it was lighting me up. But I say that to say, when I'm in there, I had to change clothes. So I'm shirtless in there, white as can be, reflecting just like a flashlight coming off my skin, and I'm sitting there as I'm trying to drive, oh man, I'm like a floodlight right now.
Yeah.
So I changed into my long sleeve camo shirt, so I'm sitting there, long sleeves, pants, just cooking the entire day.
Yeah.
No mosquitoes, but I got a lot of bug watching done, and my blind has been there for a few weeks now. So I have a nice collection of Dady long legs. I've named them all.
Wonderful.
Winston lost a leg, Sorry to say.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna. He'll be okay. I just don't know if he's gonna thrive how we expected. And there's a couple of beetles and grasshoppers, and this being my first season sitting in a ground blind like this, I was unaware how much noise a beetle or a grasshopper can make against a blind. It's like a tent material. It's like like I forget for like vibrating the podcast microphones, but you're sitting there, it's like what is it? What is that? And you look, it's just a beetle trying to get underneath the blind or something.
It's a deer.
Yeah, nope. And then I went out last week, and the only encounter that I had was that I heard 2 deer run behind the blind. Like, and
After you moved it?
No, this was before I moved.
Okay.
This was the same spot, but I don't know what got them. I didn't hear any alarm calls or anything. It didn't seem like spooked. They didn't seem like they were full on running, but they were galloping. Does a deer gallop?
I think they prance.
Prance. That was a prance for sure. But I could hear hooves on soil and a little bit of rock. I could hear them. But they were just behind. There was no chance to see them. But it was kind of neat, I guess, to know that they're there and they heard it. I don't know if they heard me, smelled me, something. So that was one of my motivations for moving the blind also. Is I actually got closer to the feeder. I measured it out. I think I'm, depending on what spot I'm shooting at, I'm under 15 yards in some of these spots. Like, I'm pretty close.
Okay.
Because it's not a huge clearing, so I had to brush it in. I actually had to lay old mesquite trees, old cedar trees over it. I don't know if you know, but there's a couple of cedar trees out there.
There's a few.
Yeah, there's just one. One or two per square foot. So I just cracked some of those down and set them up. So that's all it's been out there, man. It's impossible to pattern them. I'm seeing the most activity at like 10:20 in the morning.
10:20 in the morning?
Like 9:30 to 10:20 is when they show up. And that's when I tried to go out there and sit this last time. And that's around the time, 9:30 or so, is when I heard the ones run off.
Huh.
But who knows, man? It's
maybe if you get back out there with the new spot, the new position.
That's what I'm hoping. And I'm gonna take my son out with me this weekend. I think we're gonna try to, even if it's raining, we're gonna try to camp, and we're gonna try to go out there and sit. So I do know realistically that it being a team sport with my son may reduce my chances of seeing something, but it's more important than.
Yeah, but people do it with camera guys all the time.
They do, right? But
it'd be a good learning experience for him as well.
Camera guys also have more patience than a 9-year-old boy to sit still and not make
Some
noise.
do, probably.
Some do, yeah.
They're getting paid.
That's true. Maybe I need to pay him.
There you go.
There it is. Just
pay him as your camera guy. Train up your own camera guy.
Oh my God. We just found a way to make our own outdoors network. Just make our kids be the camera people for us.
Perfect.
God. Hey guys, the content's great, but all your shots are terrible. Yeah. You always seem like you're shooting up. Like you're shooting up at the hunter. Are you trying to make yourself look more grandiose? No, it's just that they're 5.
Yeah. No, it's that I'm 44 inches tall.
Yeah, that's the problem. So
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, but I wish I had more to report, but it's
and it's still. I mean, it's only 2 weeks in the season, and we're talking like it's January.
Done, man. Sorry.
Again, in Texas, we're so lucky we get to hunt until the middle of January. It's not like a lot of places where you have to A, draw for 1 tag, and B, you get a week. Right? We get 3.5 months. And 5 tags.
Yeah.
And for you, even hunting out at Georgetown, you don't even have to use your tags, right? You get a management tag from them.
Yeah.
So you still, if you were to get your 2 does and your buck,
I think it still goes under my state limit. It goes. I think I still have to use my DVWD tag.
Okay.
Yeah. But so it's actually a good question though, because in other management situations you wouldn't have to.
Right, you use one of their management tags.
Well, that'll make it sting a little bit less when I don't get anything out there, I guess.
Sure.
And I guess I really wanted to try to get something in archery only season. I really had romanticized that in my mind. I really had built that up to where I've won.
Still got 2 weeks.
I still do.
2.5 weeks, really.
Yeah, and the nice thing, I can't get too panicked about that because Lake Georgetown, there is no rifle or shotgun hunting.
Right.
It'll continue to be archery.
It's all archery out there.
It will be, but I'm gonna probably start. I'm already kind of, working the network and figuring out where to go. Like, we talked to. I might go out to your mom's place after you've make sure I'm not gonna take. I will. Hand to God, I will not take King Dingaling. I will not.
That's funny because I was texting with a buddy of mine whose place I hunt out a lot, and he said, "Hey, I'm on my way to Abilene. We're about to drive through Brownwood. I'm gonna stop by your mom's place and shoot that big ass deer."
No. Yeah, shows you the true value of friendship. It's like, nah.
LOL.
Yeah.
Please don't though, for real.
Oh man, you're always so funny, but when you're kidding like that, right? You're kidding, right?
Please confirm. Please confirm.
Please confirm joking.
Please confirm joking.
Please send JK LOL, please. Driving out there, bat out of hell. Like, I can't. Yeah, no, I promise. I'm very much in a fill the freezer mode already. Like, I don't want to give up on anything, but I got the desperation.
Yeah. Well, I also had a guy hit me up on the Instagram about. He's like, "When are you guys gonna do some cooking?" I was like, "When I get some meat."
Yeah, there's a number one problem with that. We don't even have doves, man. I haven't even been out to the lease yet. I haven't even bothered yet.
I have a dove.
Yeah, you got that one.
Yeah, so maybe a cooking segment is forthcoming with a single dove.
Yeah, maybe you make like a dove popsicle. Ugh.
Ooh.
I don't know. You can make that. You could fancy that up.
I guess.
Put some feathers on the stick on the bottom as like a hand shield. You know, like so it keeps it from dripping on you. You weave the feathers together. Nah, you just lack vision.
That must be it.
You're no Jason Dady.
That's correct. I'm not.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.